It's April 26th, 2022. I'm watching the professionals here. The Nassau County executive, the local professional, comes on and he makes a statement about he's in the industry, he's in the business, what he feels is going on at the moment. There's been some increase in stolen vehicles in Nassau, or stolen cars, they call it.
Whom you ask. The Nassau County executive, a staunch critic of bail reform, pointing out
they came to New York from New Jersey because of the liberal, progressive policies that have made New York State a less safe place to live in.
Looking at the numbers of stolen cars, there were 122 last year at this time, and this year there are already 370. That's a 206% increase. Police also say that 97% of the stolen cars, they have the key fobs sitting right inside.
And just this morning, it happened yet again. This time here in Syosset at this BP gas station. Police say the driver of a BMW left it unlocked and running, ran in to pay for gas, and the car was stolen.
Far too many drivers telling us this could have just as easily been them.
Have you ever left your car running to go pay for the gas?
All the time.
All the time?
Yeah.
Soon afterwards, here's the beginning of the
story. At a gas station in the hamlet of Syosset, a car was stolen.
Here's Eyewitness News reporter Stacy Sager.
Given all this damage, 4 cop cars destroyed and 5 officers injured, Nassau County Police were lucky the situation wasn't far worse over the weekend.
Lock your cars, take your fobs in. My cops are getting hurt trying to recover your property.
In fact, police also recovered a gun in the stolen car, and it's happening in some of the nicest communities here on Long Island. Sunday's police chase starting right here in the village of Roslyn. The solution is entirely practical.
Now that's Nassau County Professional League, professionalism, speaking on their industry accreditations and their industry observations from a professional standpoint. I'm going to rewind this particular broadcast because there was also at the beginning something which I've heard on the news several times, but I don't, because I'm not in that level of professionalism. I don't know what the words mean, that sometimes the more professionally versed or involved, they have a better set of understanding. But visually, I want to put the pieces together in this manner because the police, and again, I don't know the name of his job title, but he feels for his officers the way that some of the communities in the city feel about what they have going on. All right, so that was Nassau County, what they have going on. And this is inside, I believe this is New York City.
Well, a disturbing report about increases in attacks against Jews. The Anti-Defamation League says New York is leading the nation with 416 anti-Semitic incidents last year. This is a 24% increase compared to 2020. The ADL says there were 51 anti-Semitic assaults, the highest number ever recorded in New York. More than half the assaults took place in Brooklyn.
So last year there were...
Now this is taking place in Brooklyn. I'm not that far, neither is Nassau County, but this level of story, if it doesn't hit the nightly news or make it into the local paper, there's no way to read on this current event or even to know what's going on. And even listening to it, the way that the professionals in broadcasting bring it across, it doesn't say what fuels, what I mean, and I don't even know if that's something that they're 100% sure of. I don't know, because there's no two-way conversation. There's something happens, data gets collected, a broadcast goes on, and then something in a couch potato or a chair watches, and if there's information that's deficient, I don't know where that feedback loop is, and I don't really understand what's fueling this fighting and this rise in these types of attacks. The news is not clear to educate and teach someone like myself, and I have no community members that I'm aware of that would be able to explain it to me in simple conversation.
34 incidents of assaults, people being attacked, visibly identifiable Jews, members of the Orthodox community, members of the Hasidic community, and it makes them concerned about being in the street. It makes them concerned about being out on a Friday night.
All those hate crimes. Nationwide, by the way, anti-Semitic incidents reached an all-time high last year with more than 2,700 cases. That's up 34% compared to 2020.
New Jersey officials are charging a veterinarian in Newark with multiple counts of.
So now it goes from a conflict that's happening local inside New York City to then all of a sudden it spans out. This is my local broadcast here. And again, there's not a full backstory or full storyline on as to how this meeting got set up. Apparently they're meeting at Ramstein Air Force something or air something, and it shows just a very quick clip with faces, and then it goes into a quick mention about and I don't know his proper title. I know his name, I think, is Timothy Dolan, but I don't know the appropriate Christian title before the Timothy Dolan part. But he's traveling now for important work.
Now to the latest in the war in Ukraine. Top military officials from the West meeting today with their counterparts in Germany. Dozens of NATO allies gathering as a show of support for Ukraine and to discuss long-term security goals. This as the nation defends itself against Russia. This comes as Russia's foreign minister hinted at the possibility the conflict could lead to a nuclear war.
It's dangerous, and any kind of rhetoric like that, I think is unhelpful. A nuclear war cannot be won by either side.
UN Secretary General now pressuring Russian President Putin for a ceasefire and to allow corridors for humanitarian aid into Ukraine. By the way, New York's Cardinal Timothy Dolan is in Rome right now preparing to meet with Ukrainian refugees.
I'm starting a trip here for a couple days, and then we're going to go on to the bordering countries to Ukraine to visit the suffering refugees who have had to flee the aggression.
The Cardinal will visit Poland and Slovakia, he says, to show support for the refugees and gratitude toward those helping him. And we want to inform you about this. Eyewitness News reporter John.
So he's the member from New York, which is important. And then lastly, when I was watching GMA this morning, they had this for Dr. Jen specifically because they made it like it was about her. They had baby goats in all different hand knit sweaters in a barn. They are the most adorable sighting that it's something to leave on a positive note for this one piece that is just but this is the images that keep coming through the television, but without, as a mother with a young son, I don't know even, I can show him these images, which would bring anxiety and fear up, but the backstory as to why and the how and what's being fought over, that's not in clear communication to where I'm sitting in this level of broadcasting. Now, I want to tie another piece that I did the other day, even though this has been themed to something different. Right now, if you, the swirl pattern here at one level, because I'm having a really hard time. Linda woke up yesterday with her left knee, and she can't put any weight on it. She's limping around the house. I had it happen one day previous to her, and she's like, I caught it from you. I'm like, how do you catch a knee? And then she's like, no, that doesn't make sense. So then she tries to make some logic as to how her knee and my knee at the exact same place. I'm like, I'm not even going into this with you, Lynn, but whatever. So here's how the centrifugal force, there's centrifugal force going on. And then if you look underneath, there's force. I mean, they call it Edie's force, where in a hole between time and space. I learned that. I don't know where exactly. But it moves. You have two moving forces at the same time. So you have centrifugal force going in a circle, and then you have underneath at somewhere and some other force. And sometimes on the knee joint, it hyperextends, and it's two forces at the same time going in opposite directions. And when you put your weight down, it causes such horrific pain, and you don't want to damage your joints. So that's what I have going on in real world while I'm trying to do this at the moment, because this is what Lee Goldberg is saying is right off for satellite and radar, right off of the island at the same time that I'm experiencing pain. Linda's experiencing knee joint pain for orthopedics, which, whatever on that word, with this New York City thing that I just showed, and with Nassau County thing going on. Actually, I'm going to start moving it.
Being across the sound, some
at
drizzle
how
over
that
Connecticut.
moves
Steadier
in such a
showers
powerful
over western
way.
Monmouth and Ocean County. It's now raining near Red Bank. We've got some rain
this
over parts of
way,
Sussex and Warren, and a heavier
and this
shower
is going
over
this
parts
way.
of Dutchess County. So it's periods of.
All right. He's also alerting that they call it planets on parade. The planets are aligning in the sky.
Again tomorrow. If you're an early riser, if you look to the southeast sky, it's very low on the horizon, but you'll be able to check out Jupiter, Venus, Mars, and Saturn with the.
Now, this was one of the weirdest broadcasts I saw today.
File this next story under the phrase, "This stinks." New York City's sanitation department now cracking down on people who don't clean up after their dogs.
There is no poop fairy. I repeat, there is no poop fairy. In other words, if you do not pick up after your dog, it is not going to magically disappear. Someone is going to step on it.
It's going to disappoint a lot of kids who believed in the poop fairy. I guess the department says sanitation officers will begin to hand out more tickets to people who don't pick up after their dogs. Violators could face summonses of up to $250.
NASA said.
And here's to end on a good note. There's the credit. It's for GMA3.
GMA3, what you need to know. Take a look at these little ones enjoying life on the farm. This is in Cumberland, Maine. Those are baby goats, in case you were wondering, in hand-knit sweaters. Yeah, Dr. Jen, how you feeling?
I mean, I love this. I love this, and I so appreciate it. Thank you to our team of producers.
They're cute.
I mean, that is, TJ, that's not cute. That is capital cute with a capital C.
You know, who's pulling these? You all stop. Stop pointing it to the audience. The audience of one is what this is now on these plays. No, that's kind of cute. All right, Dr. F, we got a question here for you. Ideal span of months between...
It is star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxy is broken. It's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. And today on the Drew Barrymore show with Ross as her, I don't know what you call, co-anchor or co-host, they had something that they were doing about message in a bottle, where one tosses it into the ocean with a love note in it and whatever. And then Ross said, well, that some might think that's litter or garbage or a recycling hazard, but again, I know that it has significance because it all came together in one time frame, right after a mention of a bubble and being in a bottle together. Again, it's April 26th, 2022, and it's Nicole Cattaruzza, and it is star 1978, star 8378.